Well, we are here with Claudia Makeyev, and we are actually in San Luis Obispo, of course, at the Art After Dark event here, the first Friday of February 2014. And Claudia, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
My pleasure.
And
My pleasure, Jason.
we are going to talk a little bit about what got you involved in doing this kind of work. Of course, really, your emphasis artistically is on marine-themed work. And I know that you actually have a pretty wide, both professional and personal background that's kind of drawn you to this theme. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course I can. I am a marine biologist and artist, and I've spent most of my career researching fishes. Okay. And a few years ago, I took an exploratory mission to the East Indies. Oh, wow. And while I was doing some work out there, I founded a nonprofit to teach the little tribal kids, these amazing kids, this fisher folk community, about coral reef ecology, because they were just they were just as enthusiastic as I was to learn more about the sea critters. So we did a whole learning lab and did basic literacy, because most of them couldn't read and write. So we backed up the truck from the coral ecology to literacy and coral ecology. And so a lot of these critters are endemic to the little island that I had the school on. And all coral triangle sea critters, and part of our lesson plan. Wow. So the next logical step, it seemed, was to make an alphabet book. And these are all my illustrations. I did do scientific illustration also for NOAA and NIMFS and different conferences. Yeah, I hear things like that.
I was reading your bio before, and you have quite the history, like you said, experience in education, in teaching, in academic circles, and in doing illustrations for more scientific, more objective type of illustrations. And this is where you get to kind of interject your artistic interpretation a little bit more on the things that you're passionate about.
Yes, teaching's great because I'm kind of a know-it-all, and I really like talking about fish and other critters, so it's like a perfect vehicle for me to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm really curious. I find it so compelling because we've done a couple interviews at Art After Dark, and it's always so exciting to hear people talk about their artistic vision, and especially for a lot of folks, this is actually their first public art show. And that's, I think, in your case, we're excited to be here for this.
Too,
Tonight's the world debut of Claudia's work. And so tonight, here in a little bit, we're going to see a lot of people flooding in here, so we're really glad we could catch you before.
I know the songs. I know. They're going to arrive anytime.
Well, there is a line outside. In our experience, it's kind of rare. We talk to a lot of folks about their art and their passion, and it's very personal, but it's more rare to hear somebody talk about using their art for some greater philanthropic purpose. And that's one of the things that in you talking about your passion and your background and your nonprofit, and really wanting to support the children, the underserved communities that you encountered when you were in the East Indies. I find that very compelling. And what was it about the kids there? You mentioned that literacy rate is really low. Poverty is probably pretty high in some of the populations that you interfaced with.
Well, yeah. I was working on a project having to deal with these 25-year land leases for these various islands, and putting together a whole conservation plan and marine protected area system. And it's really, really remote, and I mean, really, really remote. It's near New Guinea and Borneo. I mean, it's a wild west.
Like one plane flies out every month, kind of thing. I mean, is it pretty hard?
There's actually a pretty strong tourism area, but there's a tribe called the Tagbanwa, and they pretty much stay to themselves, and they don't get a lot of government funding. It's a little bit more like the Aborigines in Australia. They're very separate, and also very private, and they have their own culture that it dates back thousands of years. They have this beautiful hieroglyphic language, but it's kind of getting lost. And the best way I felt that I could help them, because we're talking about sustainable fishing and you know, just longevity when it comes to food security, because they depend on fish. So being able to read, especially in English or Tagalog, is so fundamental to like opening up a whole universe of tools.
Gotcha.
So that really, it was the Mermaid Islands Corporation. My company was a satellite project from my original contract work that I was doing. So. But it was much more fulfilling.
I bet.
Yeah.
Well, and then these are, I mean, there's something so, I think, just so deep and powerful about the idea of giving Native peoples the knowledge and the awareness to sustain their own kind of historical and cultural way of life. And it's kind of sad.
Protect themselves from the outsiders that want to come in and take their islands.
Exploit the resources and things like that. Wow, wow. Well, so of course, up on the screen we have the website in which to find out more about Claudia and her work. But Claudia, I want to talk a little bit about your art, a little more specifically about your art. And as you can see behind us, a lot of wonderful prints here tonight. Could you tell us a little bit about the medium that you use, or media, artistically, both in terms of the canvas and background, as well as the painting and various applications that you use?
Well, these are all watercolors on really thick 300 hot press watercolor paper, and everything's scientifically accurate down to the fin rays and the descriptions of the sea critters. So it's in a little whimsical way and in first person from the perspective of the sea critters, but everything is scientifically accurate.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. There was one segment talking about a fish's, believe it was hips or tail, and it said, I have a wide tail because I'm a female or something. It was some kind of anthropomorphizing a little bit some of the language, I guess. Or?
Yeah, it's true. And then I'm drawing a parallel to what it's like to be a mermaid, and also because to really be a mermaid, you have to live in the ocean. You have to know everything there is to know about the ocean. And so it kind of is the same as being a marine biologist. And I have a lot of really enthusiastic girls that are emailing me wanting to know how to be a mermaid, and I've been able to use it as a tool to teach people about the ocean.
Wow.
So
and science too. I think I know there's a lot of research about young females in science, and at the age of 12 or 13 or so, a lot of females' interest goes way down in science. And I know there's advocates out there, Mayim Balak, who's on the Big Bang Theory, and Winnie from Wonder Years, who got her PhD. She's out there talking about educating young females and getting them connected with science. It sounds like the field of marine biology is one that you've been able to kind of direct young females towards.
Oh yeah. Well, Mermaid Islands initially was just for girls, and but there were so many. We invited the boys too because they needed to learn how to read as well. And I have a follow-up book, How to Be a Mermaid too, that'll touch on a lot of these themes and tie it in a little bit better.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. So a lot of exciting things going on. So this is your first art show here in San Luis Obispo, and actually ever, really, publicly. So we're really excited. What kind of things can we expect to see from you, Claudia, in the near future? Any other projects? Any dreams of having more art shows, things like that?
Of course. Well, my book, I'm hoping it's going to be coming out at the end of March. Okay. The San Luis Obispo Library just asked me to do an exhibit in June for them on this project. And so if you are an enthusiast of Story Hour, I will be seeing you in June.
All right, there you go, And of course, up on screen, we have mermaidscientist.com, and you are going to want to check that out for the latest updates, and probably on Facebook too, no, or not yet?
We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Twitter.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we got it covered.
So like her or friend her or whatever you got to do, but definitely want to stay tuned on this artist because a lot of exciting things coming from her, and we're really excited too. She didn't pay me to say that, but no, we're really excited to see some of the just real impactful work that she continues to do. And I again really commend you on your work with your nonprofit because I think it's so exciting to see how art can be a transformative tool in the world to help people. So I commend you.
Trying, you know, we'll see. We'll see how we do. I also want to say thank you to Green Goods because they let me use all their reclaimed redwood and sustainably grown bamboo to make the frames. These are all handmade in San Luis. And my friend Hope Hitchcock, who did the beautiful calligraphy on all the pages.
Give a shout out there. And again, one last plug too. We are, of course, at the very cool office of Dr. Patrick Payne, who has a very apropos name for his business called Treat Pain Acupuncture. And he's a local acupuncturist who specializes in herbal medicine, kind of more traditional methods of doing pain management and things like that. So definitely, Patrick's a big supporter of the arts, and he hosts Art After Dark shows every month, I believe. So we want to also give a good shout out to Patrick and encourage folks to come and check out his business too.
It's a wonderful little shop, and it just smells healthy in here. It's nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Claudia, for all your time, and we'll free you up so you can get ready to meet all your fans tonight.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna make paninis, and we have cupcakes coming, homemade cupcakes.
That sounds good.
And wine.
Ooh, wine. Okay.
And it was a pleasure. It was really nice talking with you.
Well,
Thank you.
It was nice meeting you, and I might hang out and try some of those goodies because they sound very good.
You probably should.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks again, Claudia, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.